minutes past 11. It's the all-day special on Expat Radio. We're going live this morning to Christine Saunders and to Zachariah Thompson this morning. Just giving him a buzz. Apparently it's freezing cold over there, which makes me feel a million times better. How the devil are you both?
Hey, Dave, I'm good.
Very good. Great to meet you, Zach.
Yeah, you too.
Very good. Is Mrs. Saunders there? She's playing with her equipment, you see, and she hasn't got a clue what she's done this morning, I think. Is she there yet or not? Are you there? Talk to me, I've had a bath. No? Right, well, what we'll do is, I'll have a chat with you quickly while she's trying to sort that out.
Okay.
Oh, thank God for that. Are you there? Did you forget to...
Those new headphones suck.
Did you put them on the wrong place?
No, they're Bluetooth, so they stink.
All right, I thought you plugged it into the hairdryer or something like that and not realise you'd done something wrong.
You know that's what would happen, right?
No, but I won't put that past you. You'd be bound to do something like that when you're half asleep at daft o'clock in the morning over there in the dark. I mean...
Yes.
I plugged it in.
And it's cold.
Yeah, well, yes, apparently, yeah. Yes. Have you got? You look great in a bobble hat and a pair of tights over your head. Anyway, you look like a bank robber.
Oh, goodness, Dave. Good morning, world. Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Zachariah.
Good morning.
Right, I'm going to leave you two to it, so I'm going to put my hands behind my head, put my feet on the desk, and away you go.
Yeah, you always say that.
No, I'm going to do it. I'm just,
Awesome. So I'm excited to be here today with Zachariah, and I'm going to let him do a little bit of talking here in a minute. But I thought it would be really important for everyone in the world who's listening, all these amazing people, over 76,000 people listening today, Zachariah, who get to hear, about you. And so I wanted to share you and your story with the world, and I thought this would be an amazing place to do that. And so I got to meet you again through Ryan Hartley. It seems like every person I get to connect with lately sort of comes back to him. It's like that 6 degrees of separation, right?
Absolutely.
And I know. So we have a Colorado connection, which is really amazing. And then we have the word heart in both of our worlds. Yours, heartbeat strength, and mine, wholehearted life. So I was really inspired to hear your story and wanted to bring you on and let the world hear about your story and see what an amazing human being that you are. So if you want to just tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll just keep going. We have a whole hour, and we'll just keep this organic and keep it flowing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a former college athlete. I played baseball in college, and I think, athletics has been a huge part of my life. Right now I have a company called Heartbeat Strength, as you were saying, where I coach in many different realms of life. I'm a leadership coach. I'm a lifestyle coach, where I kind of help people regain a better mindset and kind of hopefully work towards their potential. That's my goal with that, is like to help people realize their own potential, and then to help people answer those tough questions in their life and take those next steps to, turn their lives into the life of their dreams. And, that's really what I do. But I also do some personal training on the side as well, just because, physical fitness is a major thing in my life and has been. And really where Heartbeat Strength came across, you were saying, like, we have so much in common with the Wholehearted and Heartbeat Strength. I actually am a survivor of a heart condition called ARVC. And when I was 23 years old, I found out about it and actually had to receive a defibrillator right away. And within the first 3 months of me receiving that defibrillator, it saved my life 3 separate times.
Wow.
So I've kind of skirted the edge of life and death, and what that has done is it's brought me more meaning in my life. It's helped to inspire me to try and inspire other people, and I've realized that my time is limited. It created a sense of urgency for me to make a create a more meaningful life. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do, and exactly what I'm trying to help others to do as well.
That's amazing. So I think your story is really important. It was really important for me to hear, and I know that you just really touched on it a little bit. How about we take a quick break, play a song, and then maybe get a little bit more into it, because some of the details that I've heard you talk about are really important to get people to understand why you do what you do. So we'll take a break, and we're going to listen to Take That These Days, and we'll be right back.
Oh, I can... You're listening to Expat Radio, your worldwide friend.
Right, we're going back live to the guys this morning.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Waha!
I love that. That song is just so peppy and zippy. I absolutely love it.
Well, I used to play five-a-side. One of the singers out of him, Jason Orange, I used to play five-a-side with him, soccer, as you'd call it, back in the US, every Saturday morning. And he actually started as a dancer. He was into body popping and break dancing and all that. And they actually got him involved in the band because he was a great dancer to do the choreography. Couldn't sing a note, bless him. and when we were playing football on a Saturday, he told me that he joined this band in the early 90s, about 1991 it was. And I said to him, "What on earth are you doing joining the band?" I said, "I can sing better than you," and I daren't open my mouth. So, and he said, "Oh, they've told me they'll coach me." I thought, flipping it, you're going to need an operation, a surgical operation to be able to sing. Never mind, coach. And he's ended up being a multi-millionaire now, bless him.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, nearly 30 years later. Anyway, off to you two. Back to the story again.
Thank you. So we are here with Zachariah Thompson with Heartbeat Strength. And like I said before we went to break, like, your story is really inspiring. And I know you don't want to go into detail because you could probably, talk a lot about that. But one of the things that really struck me when I was listening to you, and we've talked before, was that moment when you have this device inside of you keeping you alive when you need it, and the first time that hits. What's that like for you?
I've kind of said that it's like lightning strikes. That's exactly what it feels like. It feels like you get struck by lightning, and it's to me it was such a big wake up call for what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. Like, I knew I had always been called to people, but I also knew that now I could use my story to inspire other people to live their best life, So it's an obviously very scary moment in your life to kind of have that happen and have that realization, and you kind of feel like the victim a little bit. But if you can turn that adversity into a question of, like, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I use this? How can I help inspire other people? And turn it into, like, not looking in, like, really at yourself, but using it to look at other people and help other people. That's really helped me along my journey and along that path right away when that happened.
Man, that's amazing. And you said that happened 3 times?
Yeah, it's happened 3 separate times. So the third time was, and it actually happened all within the first 3 months that I received my defibrillator. So the timing was perfect. Like, I probably wouldn't be here if I didn't get the defibrillator at the time I did. And so it makes you super freaking grateful for your life. And it makes you, like I said before, it just creates a sense of urgency to go out and do something and like chase down a more fulfilling life and be more meaningful to other people and to serve other people a little better and to use your gifts and abilities the best you can to do that. So it's just created a tremendous sense of purpose.
That's amazing. And I think in the stuff that I've read and we've talked, you were going to be a strength and conditioning coach for, sports and athletes. And that was what the course you were on when you found this out, right?
Yeah. So I went to school for exercise science, and I even got my master's in it. I have all these certifications and stuff. And now I feel like a couple years ago, I was just like, you know what? Screw it. Like, I'm a little more passionate about, making bigger life changes and life realizations with people. You know, rather than just getting physically healthy, can we get mentally, emotionally, and spiritually healthy as well? So there's a lot more that plays into to us as human beings rather than just physical health, and it all kind of intermingles and intertwines and plays a role that way. So I've kind of flipped my life plans on its head, but I've gone down the path for that reason, and I always say things happen on purpose for our purpose. So that's exactly what has happened to me.
I love that. That's amazing. Say that again.
Things happen on purpose for our purpose.
That's amazing. So when we come back, I was listening to a podcast or a live that you had done, and you had said something that really inspired me, and it was the quote, "Found people find people." So so when we come back after this next song, I want to talk a little bit more about that. And so we're going to go and play Incognito, Don't You Worry About a Thing.
You're listening to Expat Radio, your worldwide friend.
Amazing.
What's amazing?
112 countries.
Oh, right, you worried me to death. I thought the camera was on me again.
Hey, when is that in-studio camera thing going to happen?
Well, the thing is, I was spending ages this morning ironing my thong, especially for the show, because it's that warm in here today. Oh, God. My bubble hat and my thong and flip-flops, and then I thought, I better put my tights on just in case, because it's getting a bit nippy. I don't want my legs getting a bit chapped. So, So it's great. The look will catch on soon, I'm telling you. All the French will love it. With a berry on. A berry.
I can feel it.
Yeah.
You'd make some headway over here, too.
Oh, I'll tell you, mate. You want it? The Americans haven't seen what the French dress like yet. These big baggy jeans and sneakers and all that carry on. The French haven't seen that. They don't know that exists.
Yeah. Don't bring it over here, please.
Oh,
don't encourage it, Zachariah.
Think-a-thong a thick. Someone had a speech impediment at my school. They had a lisp, and when you had to sing a song of sixpence, did you ever have that song at school? That rhyme, that nursery rhyme.
Yes.
Right. Well, this kid that had to sing it in my class, I was on the floor on my knees laughing every time this kid had to sing it. Thing-a-thong a sixpence, and this song was going on forever, and all you could hear was So if ever they had children and they grew up, the poor kids must have thought, God, not again, Dad. I don't want to have that song sung to me tonight, for God's sake. Anyway, over to you two again.
Oh, my goodness. Awesome. So before we went to song, I said a quote that was really inspiring, and it was, "Found people, find people." What does that mean to you?
Yeah, so I cannot take credit for that quote, "Found people, find people." I heard that from my lead pastor at the church that I'm really heavily involved in. His name's Greg Ford, but he said that one time, and it just kind of took me back a little bit, just like you. It's just kind of like an inspiring quote. To me, what it means is like everyone has gone through some sort of adversity. Like everyone has a story, and it's okay to realize that and go through that and build that. But then once you've come to the realization that you've gained some strength through your struggle, go out and share your story. Like find people that are struggling with the same exact thing and try to inspire them to find strength in their struggle. And, it's one of those things where it's like, myself, I felt like the victim, and being lost, wasn't the worst thing in my life. It was actually the best thing in my life. For me to go through that adversity that I went through, to feel like the victim, to feel lost, to have to reimagine my life again, was the best thing in my life, because it created this new path and kind of showed me who I needed to become for the people that are around me in my community. So find people just simply means like share your story, like go through the fire, find some strength through it, and then share your story and find other people and inspire other people.
Amazing. And then, my next question, just to sort of piggyback on that, and we kind of talked about this a little bit, does purpose, in quotes, I'm doing air quotes, you can't see me, but does purpose change over time?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's really important for people to have their purpose in life. Like you think about purpose, and it's kind of like this daunting thing. You can be like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I have a purpose. It can be something really small, like it doesn't have to be crazy big and daunting, but it's really important to have it defined. Mm-hmm. But it's also really important to know that it's always going to change, like throughout each season of your life. It like might build and grow and morph and get into something a little different. Like my purpose has changed a little bit too. And I used to say like my purpose was to strengthen people's hearts and inspire people's lives. And, mm-hmm. That was kind of like this overarching purpose. And I knew I was called to serve people, but now I'm really clear and like specific with it. Now it's kind of changed to helping people step into their God-given potential. Mm-hmm. And it just gets right to the point. It's a little more clear to me. It feels better to me. It motivates me every single day where I get out of bed, and it just helps me just to get excited to try and help other people and be a blessing in their lives.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And then, I look at your social media pages, which are super empowering, and we'll tell people how to find you later on at the end of our show. And what I find is really awesome is there's pictures of you with like little hand cut out hearts, and it's there's a saying on some of them that says, "I've got heart." Tell me about that.
So it was this idea. I just had this idea to create this hashtag "I've got heart." And mm-hmm. really the purpose behind that was for people to not feel alone, and mm-hmm. to know that they weren't alone in their own struggle. And right now it has just been targeting like people that I've met that have other heart conditions that they've went through. Some of them mm-hmm. The same condition that I went through at a young age. But what they do is I ask them to kind of share their story, and I'll post their story in their words on social media and help them kind of realize that they're not alone, that they can inspire other people, that they can go find people and help other people as well, and just kind of grow and build that community. Because like I said before, like everyone's going through something, and mm-hmm. You can gain a ton of strength by creating connection and building relationships around the struggle that you've been through, and mm-hmm. gain some strength and hopefully overcome that struggle.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then one last quick question, then we can go to another song. But how do you decide on what content you share with others on your social media page? How do you make those decisions? What drives that?
Yeah, I think, when I was first starting Heartbeat Strength, I was thinking about like, all right, who do I want to serve? Who do I want to speak to? Who do I want to talk to? And the answer was, it was me 4 years ago or 5 years ago when I was going through all my adversity. Like when I was struggling to feel any sense of missional commitment and purpose in my life, when I was thinking that I wasn't enough, when I had a ton of anxiety and depression and stress, that's who I'm trying to speak to. I'm trying to kind of speak to the people that think that they're not enough, but I know that they are, and mm-hmm. and try to help them have that realization, have that mindset switch. So every time I'm posting something on social media, I'm really posting something that is speaking directly to that person and trying to inspire that person, because that's exactly who I was. And this is exactly the process that I've had to go through to kind of come out of that fire. And so a lot of it is kind of speaking towards that and trying to inspire people to just kind of live their best lives, even if they're dealing with anxiety, depression, how to get out of that, how to feel like they're enough in this world, how to make really, really good connections and relationships in their life, and to live a life that they're proud of, that they love, that they want to live, and they have some passion doing so.
Amazing. So when we come back, we'll keep talking about that, and we're going to go to James Brown, Living in America. Booyah.
Expat Radio. To listen in, you don't have to be an expat, and you don't even need a radio.
The all-day special with Dave Hill on Expat Radio.
Right, we're going back live to Christine and to Zach this morning. In freezing cold, the US this morning.
Nothing like James Brown.
No, that's what his wife said.
Dave, you got the quick hitters, man. You're funny, dude.
Oh, well, you want to see what I'm wired up to? It's this machine I've got here. If I don't make people laugh, it goes. An electrocution machine.
Oh my goodness, Dave is funny and he is quick and witty for sure.
Seriously.
Right? So this last 40 minutes that we've been chatting, you said a couple of times about being in the fire or being in that space. And so we talked a little bit on break, and that means a lot to me. I have it tattooed on my arm. What matters most is how well you walk through the fire. And so for you saying that, like, that's like a good, inspiring connection I feel like we have. And can you talk a little bit more about that? Because I know what that means for me, but what does that mean for you?
Yeah, I think it was, for me, I had no choice. Like, when you face adversity, when you have some struggle in your life, you have no choice. Like, you're in the freaking fire, And so the quote that's tattooed on your arm, it's like, all right, you can choose to not do it well, not do it courageously, not have some bravery with it, and not like kind of grow that courage muscle, like kind of practice courage and just kind of stay there, or you can come to your wits and get inspired to kind of learn something through the adversity and walk through that thing, and kind of almost take like a warrior's mentality to the adversity that you're facing. Like people think that you're just born with courage. I think the most courageous people have gone through the most crap in their life. Because they've had no choice. Like, they've literally had no choice but to be courageous and continue to just show up each and every day and walk through that fire that they're going through.
Yes, that's amazing. That's interesting that you say that about courage and bravery, because that was one of the questions I was dying to ask you was, is there a difference between courage and bravery in your opinion?
Yeah, I think it's a really good question. I think that bravery is kind of like the first feeling that you get. Like, it's what kind of gets you up and gets you going. But then it continues to like take courage to show up each and every day in the thick of the battle and in the fire, and to fight adversity back with a stick and like stare that thing down. So I think, there's a lot of similarities to it, obviously, and they can be synonymous with each other. But I think that bravery is kind of that first step. It's that thing that kind of comes over you to initially stand up and be brave in that moment. But then it takes that courage to just keep picking up that stick and beating that thing down.
Right. We talked a lot about, connection and our connection and those sorts of things. How do you know when you've made a connection with someone that's like meaningful, or all connections meaningful? And then, I know I'm asking you lots of questions, but I'd be curious, and I want people to like know you and hear you. And like, when you work with people, like, what strategies do you use if they are just like in that space where they don't feel like they can be that warrior person?
Yeah. The first thing is, I just continue to try and get to know them, you know? And I think that's the best way to make connection with people and to earn their trust and to kind of help them feel like they're enough and inspiring and they can get through anything, is to just really simply get to know them and value them as a person and continue to put the focus on them and to ask questions and to receive answers, not to respond, but to listen, to actually like hear what they're saying. Because I think a lot of times where relationships and connection goes wrong is people listen to respond because they want to get their point across, instead of listen to what the other person is actually saying and hear them and kind of put that through their mind and kind of try to add value to what they just said, instead of trying to get their point across. What they already had planned to say was actually kind of have this interaction and respond to what people are saying and have this really solid, authentic conversation with that person. And I think that's the only way to earn trust. And that's obviously so important in any connection, especially a coach-client connection that I would be talking about as well. They have to be able to trust you in that situation.
Amazing. So I want to talk to you about this concept of vulnerability and authenticity. So let's take one last quick song break, and then we'll come back and we'll touch on that, and we'll have people get to figure out where they can follow you and how they can get in touch with you. But we're going to talk about that after Janet Jackson, Escapade.
You're listening to Expat Radio, your worldwide friend.
Right, we're going back live to the guys again this morning.
Nice.
Right.
Janet Jackson.
Before we go any further, I've got to read out these emails that I'm getting in.
Okay.
I've had an email off Dave Grims. It says, "Morning, Dave. Love the show." And said, "Morning to Christine and Zach. Zach, you're an inspiration and an all-round top man," I think he's put on there. Top man, that says.
Thank you.
That's from Dave Grims. Jose de Francois. Now, this could be either Portuguese or Spanish, but he's put a small message on there saying, "Morning, everyone. Love the show. Very inspirational." Bless him.
Awesome.
Man, thank
Then
you
you've
guys
got
so much.
Olivier Foray. Morning, Olivier. How you doing? He says, "Morning, everybody. Fantastic, inspirational show. And it just makes you realise how special people are."
And thank you.
And then
This is amazing.
And then I've had some more. Pierre Barnier. Very good morning, Pierre. Now, this is what makes me laugh. We get French people tuning in to learn English, and they're learning it off me, which scares me to death, because no one in a month of Sundays in France is going to end up... They're all going to sound like me. So, Pierre's put, "A very good morning to you all. Lovely summer's day, and to hear you all speaking on the radio this morning has put a smile on my face. And to Zach, he is a very inspirational man."
Nice.
Man,
There you go.
thank you guys.
My heart feels so good.
Nishant Guru, wherever Nishant is. Now, Nishant, I don't know if you're a man or a lady, but if you're not sure, let me know. Because I haven't got a clue with that name. Says, "Morning, everybody. Love the show. Great music. And to Zach, you are a very special man." There you go.
Wow.
Who else have we got? Guy Claude. I don't know if that's Claude Guy or Guy Claude. But Guy says, "A very good morning to everybody. Has put us, this has made me realise in my own life how special my family are."
Wow.
There you go. And Laurent Bazin. Morning, Laurent. How are you doing? Says, "Morning, Dave. Love the show. Love the music. Love the laughs and the giggles. But this morning has made me think twice about my life. And to Zach, you're an inspiration and a true gentleman.
Wow.
There you go.
Thank you.
Dave, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing.
You're very welcome. Can I go and have a lie down now?
Yes, you can go lie down. We'll finish up the all-day special for you today. How's that sound?
You're more than welcome. We've got Jed Sloan in Portugal this morning as well, coming on at 12:15, so you need to speak to him if I've gone. You're all right with that? Do you want me to... He's from Manchester as well. Do you want me to... You can understand him. You won't have a trouble with the accent.
He sounds like he'll be totally fine.
Yeah.
Totally fine. So we just have just a few more minutes, and I'm not sure if we can dive into vulnerability or authenticity in the depths that we would like to. So maybe, Zach, you can come back. I think people are digging you, so maybe we can plan that. But tell people how they can get a hold of you and where they can follow you and continue being inspired by you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got lucky. Everything, when I created my business, Heartbeat Strength, when I created that brand, everything was available to me. So on Instagram, it's at Heartbeat Strength, one word. On Facebook, it's Heartbeat Strength. And the website is www.heartbeatstrength.com. So www.heartbeatstrength.com. And I know we wanted to talk about vulnerability a little bit. It's actually funny. I'm actually posting a blog post later today called Blanket Forts and the Value of Vulnerability. So you guys will have to dive into that and check that out on the website. I write every week. I post a new blog post every week along with everything else I do on social media. So I have this long dream of actually writing a book someday. So this blog is kind of getting me warmed up to that. So let me know what you guys think of this new blog post today.
That's amazing. That's it's going to be a good read. I've read some of your other stuff, so I'm excited to read that. And I do, before we go, Dave, thank you for reminding me. I wanted to shout out a happy birthday to my husband.
Happy birthday to John.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to John. Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, dear John. We'll wake you up all bloody morning. Where is he now? Is he still in bed?
He's actually sleeping. I'm surprised he can sleep through this.
Run in the bedroom now and shake his legs and say, you've got 76,000 people singing happy birthday to you. Just wake up.
He would laugh. He'd probably be in his sleepy slumber, but pull
the pillow back over his head, he'll go bugger off and get back to sleep again.
Yeah, he's sleeping in the room right above me, and I feel like when I'm on the radio, I talk really loud and I'm animated and I move around a lot, and I'm surprised he actually.
People, all the listeners, nobody knows that you own a block of apartments, do they? There's 36 floors of apartments that Christine Saunders lives in, and she lives in the basement, and everybody else, she rents them out to all these other people above. And they all have a sea view, even though she lives in Colorado. It's that high, this block of apartments.
Oh, my gosh. So, Zach, thank you so much for coming on with me today. This has been an amazing hour and a great time and space I've had with you, and I'm so happy I got to share you with the world. And I definitely want to have you back on again. And
absolutely. Yeah,
that would be amazing. So thank you, Dave. And we're going to play our last song of the hour on the All Day Special. And we're going to play 5, Keep On Moving.
All right, guys, have a brilliant day. And we'll speak to you next week. And Zach, you're a star, pal.
Absolutely. Thank you.